Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. Alpha 3.13 is now on the roadmap, and it is good. Let us take a look. These videos are made possible thanks to my very generous patrons and channel members. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you would like to support the channel further, all of the links are in the description below. So the new roadmap is finally upon us, and wow, there is way more going on behind the scenes than even I could have imagined. I will be going through it today on stream on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers Ryan. All the links are below in the description. So if you'd like to join in and break it down together, be sure to head over there. I will also be breaking down the roadmap in many videos here on YouTube, taking a look at some of the exciting features and letting you know what is in the works. So be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with all of those. But 3.13 is on the traditional roadmap sort of release view. So let us delve in and see what we can expect to get for the very first patch of next year by the end of March. So kicking off with the locations, we have cave entrances, drive-in and sinkholes. This is adding 2 new cave entrances to the PU. We have drive-in, which will allow you to drive a ground vehicle in, say the ROC for example, and sinkholes, which require us to fly into. Now this is great, really happy to see that they are adding new cave entrance types. It's not likely going to be the different cave types like icy or humid, but at least this will be a good start. Hopefully we'll be able to mine inside them using the ROC as well, that will be cool. Next up we have refinery stations non-commercial overlays, and it says introducing new non-commercial overlays to the entry areas of refinery stations to add more variety and better suit the theme. Now I'm not entirely sure what all this means. I guess it could mean maybe less advertisements to give it more of an industrial feel perhaps. Let me know what your thoughts are there. Stanton System Polish, which is updating the assets, the object presets, planet painting and the global data of all planetary bodies in the Stanton system. So basically just more improvements to the visuals and how the whole planets work and look. Likely this will be applying all the improvements that we saw with Hurston, Microtech and a lot of the moons in 3.12 and applying that to the rest of the locations in 3.13. Finally, for locations we have new asteroids Stanton system, and it says creating replacements for the asteroids currently used in the Stanton system using the new organic asset workflow. Very excited to see that come along. So for gameplay, the first one is force reactions, and it says expanding on the physics-based reactions to physical forces. So basically this will be taking it to the next stage and having it apply in other ways as well as improving what we currently have. For missiles, we have guidance and control rework, which is converting the missiles to use the IFCS, which is what we have for ship flight. This will improve missile performance and tracking ability, enabling greater control over general missile behaviors. Also for missiles is the missile operator mode, which we have heard about a few times now, and it says missiles will now be controlled under a dedicated missile operator mode, which gives players the option to select and fire specific missiles while operating in ships such as the Vanguard, which will allow for different types of missiles and torpedoes. Now they have certainly improved missiles and torpedo gameplay in 3.12. This will add so much more control over how and what we fire, and hopefully allow players to work together as well. This is kind of building out a new station within ships, so you'll still have your pilot and your co-pilot seats. This will be a missile operator seat for appropriate ships, so building out that multi-crew. Next up is vehicles, names and serial numbers. So this is adding the ability for us to display custom player assigned names to the sides of our ships. Special serial numbers will also be shown, and all other ships will have unique serial numbers displayed to identify them. I'm assuming these are reg tags. Now this is going to be quite incredible. I also expect the system will have some form of filter so you can't have offensive names, but we'd better start thinking of what names we want for our ships, and I think the way it's going to work is 2 of the same ship cannot have the same name, but 2 ships that are different can have the same name. So I wouldn't tell people what you plan on calling your ships. Next up is vehicle visual degradation. Now this is really exciting, and it says it's introducing visual wear and tear to players' ships as they age and degrade. Ships will subtly change depending on how long they have existed in the verse. Now this is one of my favourites. Seeing your ships actually age will over time give us more connection to them. Now I would expect with the first release of this system it'll probably age too quickly, mostly just to gather data, but also it'll need to be dialed in and balanced. So this is going to be very exciting and I cannot wait to get it in game. Next up is hacking tech. So creating the first pass of the hacking feature that will be used in future locations and mission updates. This will be used to access systems and areas that have been previously closed to the player, and the hacking process will be represented via a minigame displayed on the player's HUD visor. So I'm really happy to see hacking making its way in for 3.13, a bit earlier than I expected to see it in fact, but I'm not sure how I feel about the term minigame. I do hope it is a skill-based system, more akin to real-world hacking, but we will have to see. So, a couple of docking updates. We've got the Merlin and Constellation docking, and as you can imagine, this is the ability for the Merlin and Constellation ships to dock and undock. This will also include a guidance mode UI to ensure correct alignment during the process, and then there's also ship-to-station docking. So ship-to-station docking brings the ability for larger ships to dock to space stations. Very excited to see this come along next year. It'll be a magical time when we can finally dock these large ships, and I can just imagine walking to your ship and seeing the size of the ship from the inside of a space station, walking along the docking collar and just seeing it there. As a crew, that'll be so much fun. So the last gameplay feature is the Law System version 2 Surrender, and it says allowing players to be arrested without losing their life. By coming to a halt and powering down your ships when ordered to by security, they will halt their attack and arrest criminal players, impounding the ship. Now this will lead to so much fun gameplay. It is also an important step to not just bounty hunting, but the death of a spaceman mechanic as well. So for ships and vehicles in 3.13, there are currently 2 known ships slated to release. These are the Crusader Hercules C2 and the M2. Now we have seen them making great progress on the C2 over the last few months, and it's very exciting to think that these will both release in 3.13. We will also see some new additions to this section, maybe some sneaky unknown ships release as well, but we'll have to wait and see as we get closer to the date. So for weapons and items, there is one card here, and it is mounted guns, further expanding the player arsenal by allowing them to take control of mounted guns on either a vehicle or the ground. Now these weapons will offer great firepower and stability at the cost of mobility. Quite an interesting one. I wonder if this will mean things like using tripods for ship weapons, maybe to defend ground bases, and it could even be linked in some way to the Titan suit work. I wonder if there's something that's going to use as well. Anyway, finally we have core tech. Now there is one card for the moment, and it is converting legacy data management to ICache. It says retarget all gameplay systems that use the legacy persistent data management system to the new ICache interface, and this is in support of the wider persistent streaming and server meshing initiatives. So this doesn't necessarily mean that ICache will be implemented in Q1. It is more getting everything converted to use ICache so they can implement it. And that also means server meshing won't be too far behind. Chris Roberts did mention in his letter that they are confident that we will see at least ICache this year, and hopefully server meshing as well debuting in 2021. Most likely Q2 is when ICache will be getting fully implemented. This Q1 conversion is just ensuring everything will work when it does. So that is the 3.13 roadmap. This brand new roadmap has really brought some much needed hype. And as I mentioned earlier, I will be breaking down the progress tracker and everything that is in the works into smaller digestible videos to help everyone take it in. There is a lot going on in the background. We will be talking thoroughly about the roadmap on Twitch today, so do follow me over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers if you would like to go through it together, and hit that subscribe button here on YouTube if you don't want to miss out. If you could do me a favour and hit that thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Thank you again to my patrons and channel members. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.